The Young and the Restless spoilers. Next 2 week, full August, 3 to the 14th of August, 2026. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Tuesday, a beautifully gloomy day outside, which honestly perfectly matches the vibe of Genoa City right now. We have so much to unpack today, and I am running on fumes and way too much caffeine, but we need to talk about the absolute chaos unfolding on our screens. Let's just dive right into it because there is a lot of ground to cover today. So, let's start over at the Newman Ranch. Victor and Nikki are back at the ranch, and Nikki is having this big emotional moment. She tells Victor that she is never, ever going to take her eyesight for granted again. And honestly, after everything she has been through with the bandages and the fear of going permanently blind, you really can't blame her. She literally says, "I feel like a dark cloud has lifted," which is a beautiful sentiment. It really is. But then you remember that her son Nick is currently suffering in a rehab facility, fighting for his life against addiction, so maybe the cloud hasn't entirely lifted. I mean, she acknowledges Nick's situation, but it's just a weird pivot. And then, out of nowhere, the conversation randomly shifts to Chancellor. Nikki mentions that she is so glad the Chancellor situation is settled, and that Lily Winters was handed the reins. Victor admits he was worried about telling her about it, which is classic Victor. He always thinks he has to manage Nikki's reactions. Nikki just brushes it off and says she wants to cherish the years they have left together and make this the best time of their lives. And then in the very next scene, Nikki is standing at the front door waving goodbye to her grandkids. She turns back to Victor and just casually asks if they can go on a vacation to Venice. Venice, just like that. She wants this trip to celebrate their fresh start. And Victor, who is probably just thrilled she isn't yelling at him about Jack Abbott or Patty Williams or Matt Clark anymore, immediately responds with, "When do we leave?" It's cute. It is. But let's be real here for a second. How many fresh starts have Victor and Nikki had? I've been covering this show for a long time, and I swear they have a fresh start every other month. They reconcile, they go on a trip, they renew their vows, and then Victor does something incredibly shady, and they blow up again. It's the cycle. It's just the cycle. But fine, let them go to Venice. Maybe it will keep Victor out of trouble for 5 minutes, though I highly doubt it. Meanwhile, across town, or wherever this rehab facility is located, things are not going well for Nick Newman. Not at all. We get this incredibly intense, dark scene of Nick having a nightmare. And the writers actually did a decent job with this, because it felt genuinely terrifying. Nick is tossing and turning in his bed, sweating, just completely trapped in his own head. In the dream, he's imagining that Matt Clark is hunting down Noah and Sharon. And the setting of the dream? Crimson lights. Of course it's crimson lights. Where else does anything bad happen to Sharon? So Nick is in the coffee house in his nightmare, and he's just overwhelmed with panic. And what does he do in the dream? He grabs a massive pile of fentanyl bags and just downs them. He takes all of it. It's a really graphic, disturbing representation of his addiction and his guilt. But it gets worse, because then in the dream, he sees Sharon kneeling on the floor next to Noah, and Sharon looks up at Nick, and she tells him that Matt Clark killed Noah. And why? Because Nick wasn't there to protect them. Because Nick was too busy getting high. That is some heavy, heavy psychological trauma right there. Nick wakes up from this nightmare, and he is shaking. He is literally shaking. He's looking at his hands, trying to make them stop trembling, and he just breaks down. He says, "I shouldn't have come to this place. I have to get out of here. And you guys, this is the scariest part. He is in rehab voluntarily. He can leave whenever he wants. And his guilt over leaving Sharon and Noah unprotected while Matt Clark is still breathing is eating him alive. He thinks he needs to be out there fighting Matt, but he is in no condition to fight anyone. If he leaves rehab now, he is going to die. He is going to end up dead. And I am so stressed out about this. I really hope someone stops him from walking out those doors." So while Nick is having nightmares about his family, Sharon is actually getting the surprise of a lifetime over at her house. Sharon is just going about her day when suddenly Mariah walks in. Yes, Mariah Copeland is back. Sharon is absolutely stunned. They have this massive, emotional hug, and Mariah tells her mum that she's just so happy. And Sharon, who is probably thinking, "Wait, weren't you facing serious prison time for kidnapping Devon's baby?" asks her why she is so happy. Mariah drops the bomb that she was released by a court order this morning. Just like that, the judge said she could go. She announces, "I'm moving back in with the family," and she says that Tessa welcomed her back with open arms. Oh, and she also mentions that she already saw baby Aria, and that it went really well. Okay, pause. Let's just pause for a second. Are you kidding me with this pacing? We spent months, literal months, dealing with the fallout of Mariah's psychological break. The kidnapping of Dominic, Devon's absolute unhinged rage, the legal threats, the facility, and now she's just out. And we didn't even get to see the reunion with Aria on screen. It all happened off screen. The writers just glossed over it. Oh yeah, I saw my kid. It was great. What were they thinking? I know the fans on social media are going to riot over this. This is a soap opera. We want the tears. We want the drama. We want the on-screen reunions. But whatever. I guess I should just be happy Mariah is home and that Tessa didn't completely ruin their marriage by hooking up with Daniel while Mariah was locked up. So, Mariah is back. Yay. But the happiness at Sharon's house lasts for about 2 seconds because then Noah walks in. Noah comes in, gives his sister a huge hug, and Sharon is probably thinking her family is finally coming back together. But no, Noah looks at them and drops a massive bombshell of his own. He says, "Sienna and I are moving back to Los Angeles." Boom. Just like that. Sharon is devastated. She points out that he literally just moved back to Genoa City a few episodes ago. He just opened the shadow room. But Noah is completely traumatized by everything that is happening with Matt Clark. He tells his mom, "If I stick around and keep seeing this guy, something bad is going to happen." And honestly, Noah is right. Noah is 100% right. Matt Clark is a psycho who has already tried to ruin their lives multiple times. Noah knows that if he stays, he is going to end up doing something he regrets, or Matt is going to hurt Sienna. Sharon, being the protective mum she is, tells Noah that staying as far away from Matt as possible is the best thing to do. She validates his choice. But you can see the absolute heartbreak in her eyes. She is going to miss him so much. And it's just so frustrating to watch this family constantly be torn apart by villains who never seem to face any real consequences. Victor brought Matt Clark back into their orbit. And now Noah is fleeing the state just to feel safe. It's messed up. It really is. Speaking of the Newmans ruining people's lives, let's talk about the Abbott mansion. Kyle is still absolutely fuming about Victor, and he has every right to be. Victor basically orchestrated the entire nightmare with Patty Williams and Dr. Markham, but then Victoria Newman shows up. Victoria comes to Kyle, and she actually proposes a truce between the two families. She tells Kyle that she knows he is still angry about his dad, but that he should just be happy that everyone is back where they belong, safe and sound. She wants to end the war. Kyle, however, is not having it. He looks at Victoria and says that Victor is not getting away with it this time. "It ends here," he says. Victoria sighs, probably annoyed that Kyle isn't just bowing down to the Newman way, and asks him why he can't just be exhausted by it all, because she certainly is. She is tired of the fighting. But Kyle snaps back with a brilliant question. He asks Victoria how she would feel if her father hired a lunatic to go after her parents. And Victoria, in pure Newman denial, says, "He wouldn't do that." "Oh, really, Victoria? Really? Your dad wouldn't do that? Have you met your dad?" Kyle points out that wasn't the question. Victoria just deflects and says she doesn't want to cause any more pain. She tries to appeal to Kyle's sense of the future, pointing out that one day, the two of them are going to be the ones running everything. "Our fathers may have started this war, but we can end it." Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. Victoria is playing the long game here. She wants corporate stability. But maybe I'm being too harsh on her. No, wait. I'm not. She did just watch her mother almost go blind, so maybe she really is just tired of the toxicity. But Kyle's anger is so justified. I don't blame him for wanting to burn Victor's empire to the ground. And speaking of the Abbotts, Jack and Diane are having a very different conversation at the coffee house in the park. Jack gets a phone call from Detective Burrow. Jack answers and says, "I hope you're calling to tell me you found the maniac who kidnapped my wife." Diane is immediately on edge, asking what happened. Jack hangs up and tells her that the police found Dr. Laurence Markham. Yes, you heard that right. They found him. But guess what? It happened off-screen. Again. Are you kidding me? The writers built up this massive, terrifying mystery about Markham. He kidnapped Diane. He was working with Patty. Tracy was going to risk her life to talk to Martin Laurent to find him. And then the cops just find him off-screen? Who actually believes this is good storytelling? It's so lazy. I am so annoyed by this. Anyway, Jack also mentions that Patty Williams has been transferred to a maximum security mental health facility, which, thank God, put her away and throw away the key. Jack then looks at Diane and asks the million-dollar question, what should they do about Victor? Victor is the root of all this evil. He is the one who set the board. Jack is ready to go to war. He is ready to destroy Victor. But Diane surprises him. She looks at Jack and says, nothing. She doesn't want revenge. She tells him, I want to focus on getting back to being myself. And Jack is probably just so relieved to have his wife back, and relatively sane, agrees with her. He chooses peace. But of course, peace never lasts in Genoa City. Right at that moment, Kyle walks up. He joins his parents and says that he thinks now is the perfect time to discuss how they are going to retaliate against Victor. Hit him back hard, Kyle says, full of venom and rage. He is ready to unleash hell. But Jack and Diane just look at their son, and they have to tell him that they have absolutely no intention of seeking revenge. Kyle is going to be so confused and so angry. He already made a dangerous deal with Patty in jail to get revenge. What is he going to do now? Is he going to go rogue? Honestly, you guys, this show is giving me whiplash. 1 minute, we are gearing up for a massive Abbott versus Newman war, and the next minute Jack and Diane are basically singing Kumbaya in the park, while Victor and Nikki are packing their bags for Venice. It's chaotic. It's so chaotic, but that is why we watch, right? We complain, we rant, but we always tune in tomorrow. I am terrified for Nick. I really am. If he leaves that rehab center, Matt Clark is going to destroy him, and I don't know if Sharon can handle losing Nick right after saying goodbye to Noah. The emotional stakes are so high right now, even if the pacing is a bit clunky in places. We just have to wait and see what happens next. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I crazy for being this mad about the off-screen stuff? Let me know. I need a nap.